Now, I don't know exactly, I don't remember exactly when it was that I first recognized feigned indifference for what it is and how powerful it is, and how important it is that we practice that on a consistent basis. But I do remember what reminded me of it and what actually made everything click, the actual instance that I knew what power it did have. And that was a long time ago, probably, I want to say 1993, and a bunch of us were standing around like we shouldn't do, smoking cigarettes and standing by the door and waiting for Saturday night to come to a close. Well, one of the consultants, the best consultant of the group, who is now a finance manager and a very successful one for many, many, many years, was standing at the front. He was smoking Marlboro 100, and this young man came up in a sporty car with his girlfriend and addressed all of us, but this gentleman was standing closest to him. But he said, I want to buy a car today. Who wants to sell a car today? Don't you want to sell a car today? And I guess, we had created that by our question, what do I got to do to sell you a car today? Even though that question shouldn't happen anywhere near the front of the process, but we're going to get into that and keep repeating that over and over. But this gentleman just basically took quite a long drag on a cigarette and said, I don't care if you buy a car today or not. And I was thinking, pretty powerful. What it did basically, and again I recognized it a bit later, was it took control of the situation back. And it did right away. Now no longer was that person doing all the talking or demanding anything. It was this gentleman who took control and minimized the situation, at least for the time being. The funny thing was he ended up selling and delivering him a car. But it all began that way, by gaining the control back. Now, it always doesn't work that way. In fact, that's more of an example of real indifference and total indifference, whereas my concept, feigned indifference, is to pretend to have no bias one way or the other, whether somebody buys a car right now or not. And this can work a number of different ways, and we're going to take a closer peek at it in just a little bit here in the program. But what it does basically is take the control back. Now, customers practice feigned indifference. This one didn't, but a lot of customers practice this on us all the time. They're trained not to show a large amount of interest in the vehicle, even though it may be their dream car, to tell us they're not buying right now, tell us the price is too high, and these are all done to set up a negotiation or a big discount in their mind. So we have to do the same thing. In other words, please buy when you see value in what you're purchasing, and take as long as you need. These are forms of feigned indifference. I do remember when I had a gentleman come in, I believe it was an attorney from the Milwaukee area, this was years and years ago, came in, nobody waited on him, so I went up to him and greeted him, and he said, well, I need your best price on this vehicle right here, and I need to have this car appraised, and I only have 10 minutes. And I said very nicely, I said, well, thank you for choosing to spend some time with us today. Would you like to go ahead and set an appointment for when you have more time? And this was not the reaction he wanted. He was expecting people to jump through hoops and do everything that he was told they would do in this case. But actually what had happened was he kind of went, no, and we actually had a common ground and built some rapport, and I sat him down at the desk, and he ended up letting us bring one in, actually from another facility, do a locate, and bring him a vehicle. So that was a big win for us. But at any rate, that's part of feigned indifference, as it will be explained to you. But it's so powerful, and it has to be used all the time. We have to make sure that the customer understands that they have all the room that they need, that we are going to basically go through a process without telling them we're going through a process. Nobody cares about our processes. And we're going to get them to the end, and we're going to take really good care of them. But take a closer look at this program and move forward, understanding that feigned indifference has to be a big part of what you do every day.